Trust your emerald heart. Be who you came here to be. Unlock your true potential. Hello dear friends, this is Victoria Suardi. Welcome to B School Space, Trust Your Emerald Heart podcast. And today's episode is a live recording of a sharing about celestial dragons. To be able to participate in this kind of recordings and live streams, I am inviting you to join the meditation library, and once these kind of events are going to take place again, you will receive the invitation via email, and you will be able to ask your personal questions and to be present live together with other participants and communicate with them as well. In today's sharing, I am touching upon a very special topic, celestial dragons. For me, that is a topic that is very close to my heart, and I've been exploring it for some years already, and it's a beautiful topic to go deeper into, because these creatures are so magnificent and so willing for us to open up and communicate and connect with them. Yet this particular live stream is not an embodiment session. It is a sharing for you to gain wisdom and knowledge and information on this topic. An embodiment session is something that you can do personally or on particular events where we learn that we are a part of them, or they are a part of us, and we understand that we are all very much connected, and how to use that particularly in our life. I'm wishing you amazing experience during this sharing, and if you still have any questions or want to go deeper, connect with me and I will be happy to support your journey. Enjoy. Hello. Welcome to the live stream. And if you are here and if you are watching it live, can you please let me know in the comments so that I can see, if it updates properly, that you are here, and we are starting a live stream called Celestial Dragons, Who Are They? And I am Victoria Suardi, broadcasting from Bali, and it's morning time here, so you might hear my neighbors' roosters, all other noises and stuff like that, which is completely normal. Drop into the place, get yourself a cup of whatever you like, whether that is coffee, tea, water, anything that makes you feel nurtured, supported, grateful. And just land into the place so that we can start communicating about this very specific topic. Very different.
When we speak about spirituality, everyone talks about connection with God, but everyone is also a little bit scared about what else is there. And today we will have a chance to look a little bit to see what else is there. So if you are here, just send a little bit of something. Tell me where you are listening to this live stream from, and whether or not you have ever encountered dragons. And you might not know if they're celestial dragons or any other dragons, and we will talk about that as well today. So let me know if you can hear and see okay, so that we proceed. And I'm gonna activate my own senses with some essential oils, and I'm inviting you to do the same. Just any essential oils would work. I'm using eucalyptus just to drop into the place. A few big deep breaths in would work. And I'm inviting the highest and purest frequencies to support our exploration today. And just to guide us on what it can be. And it's a very peculiar topic. I know that some will judge, some will not understand, some will be extremely excited. And I'm inviting you to remove and release everything that is not aligned with this topic at this moment, and just drop it and decide that you will think or talk about it with your friends later. And for now, I'm inviting you to be present here and now, and just to open up a little bit to something else, something different, something that you might not have talked much about. And I'm inviting again the highest and purest frequencies only. All other entities and beings, I'm kindly asking to respect the sacred space we are creating together and live. And I'm inviting the reinforcement team, divine support team, everyone who is here for healing, everyone who is here to support us, to stay with us, to be present with us, and to teach us something, something special. All right, let me see who is here. Northern Canada, hello, hello. Upstate New York, and not sure if I have encountered dragons. All right, I'm in the US, Indiana. I had a past life session where dragons showed up. All right, USA, New Jersey. I live in Bali and have experienced dragons a few times, but I don't really know much about them. All right, beautiful. Keep writing in the chat. Once in a while I will be going there to see what's going on. Nice tea. This is the last live stream I'm running in this season, as I say, because I'm about to go into a birthing portal with my new baby. And those who are willing to connect with me, they can send me private messages, or they can embark on transformational journeys, which are recorded on my webpage in B School Space. And also all sorts of support. You can scroll up and there are my links to PayPal, there are my links to offerings, and my link to meditation library. Those are the places where you can learn more about what I do, and subscribe. Meditation library is a gift for all of you. Once you embark and join, it will be giving you access to heart healing guidance, also self-healing tools, grounding techniques, feminine and masculine recalibration, and a lot of support is given in the meditation library. And also, once you embark, you will also be given access to my invitations or writings and podcasts and stuff like that. And although I will not be able to run live streams and calls in the nearest time because of the newborn, I will still continue writing, because the writer cannot stop writing, right? And yeah, and if you are willing to understand how to come to the next level of expansion of your own journey, just send me a message. I'm available on Facebook, Victoria Swardi, and we can chat and I can guide you through what you are going through, and yeah, we can talk, and I will let you know what can be the next step that you can take. And I am a somatic trauma release therapist, but I don't really do much of talking therapy if the person is ready to go into the energetic. The reason for that is because although mental is important, spiritual and energetic is much more important, and today you will understand that in the Dragon Talk. The thing is that this particular event is not an embodiment event. It is more of a conversation. So if you have anything to share in the chat, and I will be willing and ready to read that. And the difference between the two, the embodiment and the talk, is the embodiment is when you understand that it is something for you and you want to have it in your body. But to go into the embodiment, we need to release the density. And this is something that has been topical for many of us, because the density in the system is something that is preventing us from truly seeing, truly believing what we see, experiencing fully, and actually opening up. What can be the density in the system? The density like past grudges, trauma we experienced in this life or the other, all sorts of attitudes, all sorts of resentment, hatred, greed, all these kind of things which kept us stuck in this reincarnation process. And once we understand that actually it is time for us to shift and work on that, work on our own attitudes and resentment and all this, we instantly activate our clairsenses, and we instantly see much more. And when we decide, okay, I allow myself to see, what else is there? When you see, you can get scared. You can get all sorts of fears. You can get all sorts of like, oh my God, what was that? Oh, and like if you scroll up the spiritual awakening support group, you will see that people experience things, they open up for things, but then they get scared because they're also trying to see the meaning between the minor things, which are sometimes not really connected, and get confused, get scared, and actually lock up our own clairsenses. The thing is that we need to go through the density. We need to go to the next place, to the next experiences open-heartedly, and we need to understand that not everything we can understand with the mind. Some things we can just notice and feel with our hearts. That's why being in the heart is extremely important, is the first step. If you do not know where you are in the heart or in other places, use the meditation library. There is a Return to the Heart guidance. It's amazing. It has a few steps. And it's really special because it changes your life. And on the unseen, there are many, many different beings who are actually really willing to connect. There are many dimensions, and different beings live in different dimensions. And we are here in the 3D fighting to pay our bills. And those beings are doing something else. Okay, hello everyone. Thank you so much for all the messages in the chat. Hi Florida. Hello. Yeah, I'm really glad to have you here. If you have things to share, just share in the chat. I will be popping up once in a while. So yeah, there are many different beings who live between the realms in different dimensions. They're willing to connect. Of course, there are also beings who are not here for the highest good of all, okay? There are hungry ghosts. There are all these lost souls and spirits trapped between the realms or in the battlefield. And when we speak about, well, ascension or going, beyond, or, exploring the dimensions, we always speak about shifting from 3D to something else, and oftentimes people want to shift into 5D. And the reason for that is not many people speak about that. The reason for that is that 4D is the battlefield. The place which is not so happy for us to be in. And if you reflect on your own journey when you were a child, you might remember, or some of you might remember, not everyone had that experience. I had my clairsenses activated since I was little. I saw a lot, especially in between the dream state and the awakened state, so meaning in the evening or early morning. This is the time between the realms when you are just like, the mind is not really active yet, and that's the place where, things connect with you. I was extremely scared. I was very, very scared of all the experiences, of all the beings who would try to connect with me. My parents didn't believe me, and my mom would take me to the zoo and show me, look, these are the wolves, they're so pathetic. And she couldn't comprehend what I was trying to communicate because I didn't have the words, and I was a little child, 4 or 5 years old, this kind of things. And then when your experience is completely gaslighted, you try to numb those feelings. I know people here in Bali, even within my own family, my husband is Balinese, some of his relatives had these experiences like of really being open as a child, and then they had to conduct a particular ceremony for the child to live a normal life and numb those experiences and feelings, not to be open so much to the unseen, because that experience scares the child. And although I do not fully agree with that, there is some sort of reason for that in the previous experiences, like how we used to live life. In my personal attitude is that we have to learn and we have to cultivate the tools so that we can support our children, not to numb, not to be scared, but to validate their experience and to allow them to open up. And when I was running live, Dragon Life activations, like Celestial Dragon events, for adults, sometimes for kids, sometimes for adults with kids, sometimes within containers of my kids' classes for like spirituality for little ones, for teenagers, and it's always easier to work with the little ones because the little ones, they trust. They put their hand on the heart, and they're already there. They already see, they already know, they're pure. Because the reasoning mind is not so strong, and they're not in the doubt yet. They believe what they see. And this is the difference between the children and us as adults, because we have doubts. We have this, What did I see? What was that? Was it for real or what? Was it really the dragon, or was it my imagination? Oh, it's just a shadow of the tree. You know, so we have this ability to see, but we doubt. Okay? The thing is that the first step to be able to open up is a decision, a conscious decision within you. Okay, I allow myself to open up. I allow myself to see. I allow myself to experience, to explore. I don't mind. And then the next thing is to make sure that that which is connecting is of the highest and purest frequencies. And here I must communicate what is the highest and purest frequencies. It's a choice. There are many different frequencies existing in multiple realities at the same time, and we can choose what we want to connect with. We can choose whether we want to experience something that is beneficial for everyone, or something that is satisfying our own greed and needs and, things like that. And without us knowing, we had so many different contracts. The reason why we were so scared as children, and actually why we came to this incarnation in a way, is because in the previous experiences, we had those not so beneficial agreements and contracts. And maybe we killed somebody, maybe we stole some money, maybe we did something of that kind. And we were either in the recycling center and incarnating again to repeat the same cycles, or we were having contracts with all those beings, or like we signed, so we agreed upon those kind of like not so beneficial things and got into this battlefield. And that's why children often have this nightmares or like, this kind of things. And the way out of it is actually highest and purest frequencies. As a child, I didn't know about that. Of course, nobody told me. As a adult, I didn't know. And when I already was deep into the spirituality, I still didn't know. And I was exploring and working with different modalities, different things, and different teachers, and sometimes even misleading teaching, the teaching which would not lead you to anywhere. And I was not trusting my own senses. Sometimes I would, but I would numb them because, the teacher said that, and, you have to trust the teacher. So this is the thing. When we do not trust ourselves, we do not trust our own senses, and how can we, experience, and how can we be sure? But then I realized that things, the highest and purest frequencies are the choice. You can anchor those down. And I had another live stream in my podcast. You can find it, What is Divine Energy Embodiment? I speak more about that. So the highest and purest frequencies is something that you ask for. And if you remember, when we just started today, I also asked for highest and purest frequencies. I don't want any conflicting energies. Everyone comes here today with different energies. Everyone brings something different, and everyone has a different experience. I don't want to have a place where we share the trauma, right? I want the I want the highest and purest frequencies to guide us. I want only those kind of experiences for the highest good of all to be here with us. Let it land for a second. I'm from New York. Dragons are appearing more and more in my life recently. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, sorry for the microphone. It's just hot here. I cannot be without the fan. So, there are different types of dragons, and different religious belief systems use them and sometimes keep them trapped for whatever reason. And this is the thing, that we don't want to trap anyone. And also, if you see it this way, who are the celestial dragons, okay? The celestial dragons are the beings who travel multidimensionally, oftentimes live between the realms, and are here to help and support. Usually, there are particular dragons who work with you with particular requests or things you're doing. And if you, for example, go into dragon activation, you might see a few dragons, let's say 5. And in some time, you might see other dragons, and you might experience connection with more. And for me, it was quite a shock when I realized that I have so many dragons I don't even know their names. But it's also connected with the thing that, on the unseen, on the other level and layer and dimensions. I do other types of work, not just this mentorship, coaching, teaching, but also, whatever is there. And the reason I was personally trapped in the 4D for a while, it was a few years back, and I luckily realized about that, and somebody helped me to get out through the frequency upgrade, through the highest and purest frequencies, was because these battlefields where good and bad is fighting is real, it exists. And sometimes when you go to sleep, you go to places. How I open up for communication with dragon was, I always sensed the presence of somebody. And in the region where I grew up, dragons were not really popular. Okay, we had, I grew up in the northern region beyond Polar Circle, and in those lands, they had all these trolls, underground beings, all this kind of like lower dimensional beings, but dragons, people were not talking about that, so I didn't know much about it. With time, when I was, reading books or exploring things, I didn't really have much information, so I didn't really explore much. But then, when we started traveling, and in 2015 we moved abroad to the Asia, every Asian culture has lots of dragons. They are present everywhere, in the temple, in the street, in, like, people give them form, and it gives you like exploration. When my older daughter was little, I had some books for her about dragons. We were talking about that, we were watching some movies, but without proper understanding what that is. And I remember one of the books we read, there was a book called Imaginary Dragon, and there was a confused dragon who thought that he was useless, and he didn't do much. Everyone was so busy in life doing their thing, like bakeries making cinnamon rolls, kids are running to school, the king is ruling the country, and he's doing nothing. And he got really upset and ate a lot of corn, and then was burping and destroying the village. And then he was told, and he realized that he had a really important job. He was actually landing on the roof of the bakery every morning, and that's how the baker would wake up and everything in the town would work. And before he realized that, he almost burned the whole kingdom. And that was an interesting journey to start with my daughter. We had these conversations about, like, what is the job, what is the thing, what are the qualities, what are, all this exploration. But the qualities are something that every dragon has different. Just like me and you humans, we have different qualities. We have different things. We have different experiences, different traumas, different things we are focused on, and different things that rule our life, right? The dragons are the same. And yet, if you see it this way, who is this dragon? Can this dragon be also me? Just let it land for a second, okay? Can these qualities of this dragon be a part of multidimensional me? If you see it as a psychological aspect, okay, this is the dragon destroying the village. I can get mad and I can destroy the village. This is the dragon who is protecting and nurturing and supporting, and I can be also nurturing and supporting. And when I embody the fragmented parts and bits of the soul, I also connect everything together and just, understand that this is a part of me. This is a part of myself, trapped somewhere in between the realms. And that gives an interesting exploration, but also understanding that, okay, I see something and I want to communicate with that. How do I communicate? Telepathically. What do I ask? The first thing is I ask to anchor down the highest and purest frequencies to make sure it's not somebody pretending to communicate to me. And then I ask, what's their name, where they come from, what are they here for, and what is their speciality, what do they work with. Celestial dragons, they work with density, all sorts of dense emotions, traumas, and transformational process. They are here to support us. And it's not always easy to understand and to comprehend the fact that it's a part of me, okay? So somebody can associate, somebody cannot, it's okay. But you can also see it as a separate entity or separate being or separate communicator. You can ask him, what is his name? What did he come to do? And and what is his strength? And they can be really silly. They can be really naughty. They can be really cheerful. They can be really playful. Sometimes they lick your face. And that's really funny to experience. But they can also be really protective and destructive and even, aggressive. And that's the thing that we are also experiencing within ourselves, right? So when we choose to come into wholeness, we understand that we want to integrate all the bits and parts of our experience. The other thing is that when you look into, okay, how many dragons do I have? Okay, I sense the presence of somebody, but what is his role? Okay, this one is the purification dragon. This one is the protection dragon. This one is the dragon to go to the dark portals. This one is the dragon who is holding the wisdom. This one is the dragon who is protecting the baby. This one is the dragon who is protecting the land. So there are many, many, many different roles, and you cannot know all of them because there is much more than you can comprehend, that there is much more than you can see. And when I just had my first activations and first explorations for the celestial dragons, and I learned that, okay, I have this dark portal dragons. I was a little bit scared about that, but even before that, a few years before, I was visiting some places and I knew, okay, the energy here in that place is not so good, and I sense it, and I realize, like, okay, I am to bring the light to that place. I am to bring offering, I am to bring incense, I am to bring flowers, I am to harmonize the place. And I was doing that in several places. Or I also had experiences with sometimes, people like clients or, friends would go into dark portal within them and experience some compulsive thoughts or suicidal thoughts, or difficult. They are in difficult places, and I realized, like, okay, I go to those places and I would support, and I have tools to get the people from the loop of the thoughts. And when I realized that I have the dragons, the dark portal dragon, I thought, oh, okay, maybe he can be helpful for those experiences. Maybe he can be helpful to support those people who are trapped in this. And that worked for a while. And then I had a really powerful experience, which I want to share with you so that you understand a little bit of the multidimensionality. A few years back, when I was taking a program about ancient civilizations, so the program was like that. We were doing what people call past life regressions, but those were, like, I would call multidimensional journeys or timeline explorations or something like that. So we were going to different ancient civilizations and watching and exploring and searching for the soul fragments and what was trapped in different realities, and trying to understand how to recollect and how to rewrite those contracts, recollect the soul fragments and rewrite those contracts for the highest good of all. And that released a lot and brought up to the surface a lot. We had all the participants of the group had a lot of purging. We had to face a lot of trauma. And I always speak about that when people are asking about past life regressions, like, what is that about? Like, oh, what can I learn? Come on, you can learn a lot. But you can also bring up the trauma to the surface, and if you're not ready, you will still be forced to experience that. And you can ask dragons to clear up, to help you, to take you places, and things like that. But sometimes you're not aware that you can, and that they're there for support. And in that program, during that program, I was called to go visit one of the physical places here in Bali, the one which I would call like a dark portal, where I would bring the light, as I mentioned before. And I knew that there was a really big dragon, scary one, living in that place. I saw it before. Many people I knew saw it before as well. Lots of mystical experiences were happening in those lands. And when I went to that place, I bring my light language, my song, my incense and flowers, and I see it and I harmonize the place. And then I communicate with that dragon, the big one, the scary one, the really like a beast, like huge. And I communicate with him. And I realized at that point that that was me from other dimensions, from other realities, trapped in between the realities. And for no other reason, like lack of, things that I could do, I would collect the souls and do bad things to the places and things like that. I don't want to identify with that. But what I want to mention here is when you identify something and give them labels, good or bad and something like that, you keep being stuck in the duality, and it's not supportive for your experience. As I mentioned before, we are to recollect the fragments of the soul from different dimensions and to come into wholeness. We can be anything, good, bad, this and that, and we're full spectrum. And we are to put it all together and to make a conscious choice to show up for our life. And with all this support and knowledge and wisdom and ancestral wisdom and ancient wisdom, which the dragons, which is actually you, are holding, you are able to be your full size, which you might have forgotten for now. But yet, you have to trust, you have to learn, and you have to make conscious choices of harmonization to show up for the world in your true authentic blossom. And at that point I realized that there is no fear. Fear, what is it? It is the projection of the previous experience, which was not so good, yeah? Or the manipulation tool of somebody who is trying to make you small. But yet, when you realize that you can actually be your true self, and your light cannot be dimmed, you cannot be kept in the box, there is no box. Nobody can control you, but you have to choose whether it is the light you choose, the beneficial for all actions you choose, or something else. Once you make a choice, you can understand that the beings are everywhere. Some are not acting for good. Some are trapped between the realities. Some are hurt. Some are traumatized. The dragon's the same. You can ask, you can see, you can sense, and you can realize, oh, this dragon needs healing. He needs to go to the training center to do some training because he is not behaving for good. And you send him there. Or go with him. Or do the training together. And that's what you do. How can you see the dragons? Once you open up, they will communicate. So deep inside, you can just invite the highest and purest frequencies, the dragons, and you can invite them to show up, to just be present with you. And sometimes you can see them in the sky, in the clouds. You can see them in the trees, in the shadows. You can see them in the waters, in the ocean or waterfall. And they are, sometimes they live in absolutely different places, and they can be tiny, small, they can shape shift, they can join you in a different shape, and that's really beautiful. For example, sometimes dragons can take form of a big moth or a cat, or just like a bird, or even a lizard or snake, and they can come up to you in that form, which is easier to comprehend as a human. And you might not recognize that, you can even get scared, but once you do, come back to yourself and ask, who are you? What's your name? What are you here for? And they can tell you whether they are you from another dimension, or whether they are your dragon, the one you already know the name of, or someone else, or maybe, so something of that kind. And I truly believe that our cats are the dragons. There was also a kid's book which I was reading to my older daughter at the same time with imaginary dragons. I forgot the name. It was something like flying kittens, something. So the kittens were flying, and the kittens, they were not dragons in that book, but that was a seed which was planted into my consciousness. Oh, cats are multidimensional beings. And they are, for sure. They understand much more. But the cat story is a different story. We can talk about it in a different live stream. The dragons are also helping us to move between the realities and between the dimensions. And this is a very profound thing I want to mention. When I was already working as a healer, as a mentor, I was supporting people and exploring modalities which are available for me. I was really willing to go into the multidimensional traveling between the realms, and I didn't know how. And I'm not sure, I don't remember if I was doing the past life regressions at that point already or not. But even if I was doing, I probably didn't trust my own senses yet. And I had some books about some codes, ancient codes, which I know now, which were reverse codes and were not for the highest good of all. But at that point, I didn't know. And I was reading that book, and the book had some sort of breathing technique which you would do, and then you would rotate some geometrical shapes in a particular way in your imagination, and then you as if would go somewhere. I was doing that for a long time. I would sit in this meditation, doing this breath work, doing this energy work. It didn't help. It didn't take me anywhere. And I was completely confused. And I was really willing to understand what it is about, multidimensional travel, and how do you experience that. And I was searching for answers. I was trying to connect to people and asking them questions. And then I met the person who after that became my mentor for already more than 3 years, and she guided me into understanding. Jen George from Multiversity and Guardians of the Codes, she guided me into understanding that actually these codes which you're trying to use, they are not for the highest good of all. They are reverse. They are not beneficial for humanity. They are not here for good. And that's why, because you purify all the time and you are trying to work on yourself as much as you can, when you use these codes, they do not work. And instead of that, you can ask your dragons to take you everywhere. And I was really puzzled. I was really like, oh, the dragon can take me everywhere. How? And I didn't believe that much to myself yet, but I decided to explore and to experience. And I want you, some of you who experienced that in the chat, please write if you ever had a multidimensional experience, pure, without any substances. And if so, did you communicate with your dragons, or whether the dragons made appearance? Just text in the chat. So at that point, I decided to explore and experience, and I was really fascinated, and I was really shocked that the dragons can take you to places. The dragons can take you to wherever you ask them to take you. Guardians of the codes, not goats, but can be goats as well. Codes, light language and light codes, you know. We had a live stream about that as well, light codes as a healing modality. You can look into that. Yeah, so the dragons, they have ancient codes, and that's why, right? They are the keepers of the wisdom. They have special language, they have special abilities, they have special codes, they have special wisdom, they have many different things. And me, I work with light codes a lot to work with subconscious mind, and for many years I was just first I was thinking that I was crazy, and then I was exploring and realized I'm not crazy. I realized that I have ability to work with the subconscious mind and with trauma, and these codes, I was just like drawing, like some take a shape of a code, of a, like what people sometimes call mandala, but it's not really mandala, it's intentional, it's different. Some are just scripting, like in the lines, and you can just do that without true deep understanding what you're doing, but in the process of doing, you have this like ancient knowledge coming to you and understanding what those are and how to shift. So for example, if you're working with forgiveness, embodiment, or sometimes I ask my clients, okay, we had 4 sessions or 8 sessions, okay? Now you are on a different level. I want you to anchor it down. Make an energy drawing. Anchor it down. Give it form. Whatever that is, you just give it form. And then they process and give it like and this is like subconscious reminder. Every time you see, you're reminded about something that you shifted in your mental approach, in the way you see the world. So yeah, would these ancient codes and wisdom be similar to strings that connect people in 3D? I wouldn't be so sure about that, to be honest. Strings that connect people in 3D. If we're speaking about, if you're just specify in the chat a little bit what you mean by that, strings that connect people in 3D. The chords between, like the karmic chords which connect people. This is a little bit different his story, because we strings that connect people. Well, strings that connect people to dragons. You know, the dragons, even if I say, oh, this is my dragon, they're not really mine, right? They are just the dragons, and they can be working with, you know, many, not just one person, but with many, because this is, you know, we are also not just, I'm not just your friend, I'm also a friend of a friend, you know, but we all are connected in a way, and light language and light codes is just a pathway to work with the subconscious mind, with the transformation, with given different frequency, with rising the frequency. And the higher we rise the frequency, the more we get opened up for experiences. And, you know, when you just start what people call channeling light language. I don't channel, but it's just a side note, okay? Channeling light language is like you connect with some being, and the being is giving you information what to channel. We don't do that because we don't want anyone or anything to control what we're doing, okay? So that's why when we start, we always anchor down the highest and purest frequencies. This is important. And also we reconnect with our highest selves, and we make sure that it's nobody else, because it's important to to understand that the purity is needed. We don't want to be messed up and messed around, you know, and we want to go to the places which are beneficial for all. And then speaking about chords, many people just cut the cords. Just in spirituality, there are many healers who are even, you know, like that's their specialty. They cut the cords. I don't see it that way these years, and the reason for that is because we have this like karmic experiences with somebody, let's say our past ex-husband or past relationship, or like even with parents, or sometimes we have traumatic experiences and stuff. We have those traumatic experiences because of the past lives, and we don't cut the cords. We need to harmonize them first. So also the dragons can help you harmonize those cords as well, and they can help you with forgiveness. They can help you with bringing up that what was trapped in the subconscious, and healing that in a most sufficient way. You can also ask for the healing to take place while you sleep, because in the physical reality sometimes it's hard to do the purging. Sometimes we don't want to have this, you know, experiences, and we don't want to get sick and stuff. We want to integrate things in our sleep because it can get heavy. But the dragons are not scared of heaviness. They are willing to, you know, to support us. They are willing to clear us up. They are willing to take us on a ride. They are willing to fly around and see and show and show, like, oh, okay, look, this is your kingdom. This is something that you have created before. You know, these kind of things. So yeah, I hope it helps. Yes, I'm here because I have been identified as one. One person said I was a second generation 17th dimension. Oh, sorry, 17th. 11th dimension. Okay, so listen, Jeffrey, this is important. One person said, everyone, not only Jeffrey, everyone listen. One person said, okay, we can go to healers, mediums, teachers, and they might see or tell you something. That is not completely true. Sorry for saying that. Because it includes the seed of their own projection, okay? I have, for example, one of my offerings is energy work, right? And one story is that the person comes to the session. Another story is I write a transmission for him. And when I write a transmission for him, like a recording, audio recording, I experience something and I give it form and I tell them what I see. And I try to avoid that and invite people into sessions instead, because transmission or like saying what I see is not always precise. It's not just because my skills are not so developed or whatever. I see a lot, but I don't want to give this like my own flavor to the experience of somebody else, because it's much more beneficial for people to have their own experience. So it's better for me to take or create this frequency place where people can experience their own things and see themselves as dragons, or feel their own wings and feet and, you know, like ability to communicate with the unseen and things like that. This is what we do in the embodiment sessions, because we can sense and feel a lot, but when we are told, we are having this projection. Okay? So for example, if I have a session and I tell my client, okay, you have 5 dragons here. Who are they? That will be one story. If I have a session and I ask a client, how many dragons do you see? And he will be like, oh, I see only one. Okay, this is only one who is ready to connect now. I might see 17, but I will not tell the client about that yet, because I don't want him to be confused or scared. His level of consciousness is able to comprehend this information now, which is exposed to his consciousness now. And that's why he is given that. It's not that I'm hiding some information from anyone, no. It's more of like when the person is ready, he will open up and things will be shown to him. And this is a very important thing. Oh, thank you for all your comments. I love that you are enjoying this. And yeah, of course, I will try to make a recording. The recording is probably going to be available in this group for a little while. It's limited time. After a while, it will be deleted. But I will also try to post it on my podcast and on my blog. And those who are willing to access, sign up for the meditation library, and once you sign up you will receive my email when it's ready, because it will be sent out with maybe transcript or all other goodies. If I have time, you know, I will put something else there. Yeah, and you will also be taken into my other places where I share my writings and stuff. I'm old school. I like emails. Yeah. Okay. If you have more questions, we still have a little bit of time, and I'm inviting you to write in the chat all the questions that you have. I'm willing to answer, and I'm willing to give you as much information as possible, but the most important part of it is embodiment. So once we finish, I want you to go into your own sacred space and allow yourself to connect. Allow yourself to invite the highest and purest frequencies, beings, to connect with you. It might not necessarily be dragons, it might be something else. It might be phoenixes, it might be angels. But not those, do not try to identify with those well-known masters and teachers and things, because those can be taking you to different places, like reverse codes and stuff. Try to open up for more. So if you invite the dragons and somebody comes, try to look deeper, like what you see, what you feel. Try to communicate. Where are you from? What are you here for? What is your message? What's your name? Oh, you're so cute. How do you like? And don't be like shy. Give them gratitude for the messages they share. They're wise. They're ancient. They're really special. And it's beautiful that we got a chance to communicate once we open up. And if you have children, I very much encourage you to get your children involved. Because the children, oh my God, they can show you so much. Especially the little ones. They see so much. They don't take it from the places of it has to be that way. My dragon has to be pink. My dragon has to be purple. No, they just allow the energy, the frequency to take form, whatever that is. And if your child is in doubt or confused, try to help him get out of that doubt. Is there a place, time, where there are dragonfly type beings and big tree where they all gather and dragons? Of course, they're like dragonflies. Oh, I love dragonflies. Recently there was a silent day here in Bali, just like last weekend, and was it on silent day or on the next day? I don't remember already. But when I woke up in the morning, I have an open kitchen, so I'm sitting in the living room with this view of an open kitchen, and I see, I don't know how many, maybe hundreds of dragonflies, like flying all together, just in front of, just there in front of the trees. And the dragonflies are shape-shifted dragons, for sure. And big tree where they all gather, and there are planets like that. There are multidimensional places like that, and actually you can ask your dragons to take you there. And also places like here, like in Bali, there are places like that as well. But when we speak about multidimensional, it's much more fascinating because you can travel there without leaving your house, right? So you can just ask your dragons to take you there. I hope it makes sense. Okay, guys, any more questions? Just a few more minutes before we finish. And I would like to remind you, if you're willing to be on my email list, Meditation Library with lots of goodies is there for you. Just join. And then also all sorts of support to my project is really welcomed and appreciated. And if you are ready to go into a transformational journey, I have a few transformational journeys available, self-study, but with my chat support. One is about 7 chakras and energy embodiment, which we experience and how we apply that to our business, to our life. And it's called 7 Chakras Healing Journey. Another one is System Reset, which is about the density in our system and the way to purify, the way to clear up all the stuck energies, and to reconnect with our ancestors, to remember that we are our own ancestors, to clear up all the stuck energies from the past relationship, from the karmic experiences, and to come into this confident state of being where we know what we are here to do. This is System Reset, really powerful, really amazing, really special. And I also have a transformational journey around divine abundance, which is helping to cultivate abundant mindset, and it's called Embrace Money Mindset. It has several steps to build confidence, to build self-esteem, self-worth, and to reconnect with the nature and to feel the abundance, to open up and understand how you can attract clients and people, not only in the spiritual field, but specifically in the spiritual field, like if you're a coach or a mentor. This is something really useful, so you can also join that. Okay, I also see Phoenix. I dream I am white, and my wife just recently told me in her dreams she has a white dragon protecting her. We just discovered this. Dragonflies and cicadas constantly land on my breast area. Kind of weird, but it happens often. Yeah, they're clearing up your heart. They're clearing up, the heart gets locked with the experiences, like not the full heart, the chambers of the heart. Like sometimes we have some particular tiny bits of trauma or bigger traumas, and sometimes we numb particular thoughts and feelings, and we lock it up in the chamber. Okay, here it is good, you can touch here, you can go here, but this one please do not touch, do not go, do not do not, it's not for you. And when this kind of beings are trying to communicate something to you, ask them what is their message, and and look into that which was suppressed, and that traumatized bit, whether that is from your childhood or from the past experiences, from past life experiences, that is something that can be addressed, that is something that can be healed, that is something that you can work on and transmute and transform and alchemize into something else. And and it's beautiful to have these experiences, to remember your big true self, your wise self, right? And that you can perceive the reality through your heart fully. And you are here for good, not just for you, but for the good of all. And dragons are protectors for sure. And codes, guardians of the codes, yeah. Phoenixes have a little bit different energy. The energy of the phoenix is like burning to ashes and then rising, right? Dragons are not so, like, they do not burn to ashes, they make a choice, but it's just a different, you cannot compare. Nothing is better or worse, they're just different. You can explore and experience all of that. And when I invite Divine Support Team, I always invite dragons, unicorns, Pegasus, Phoenixes, they're all here for good. And and whoever has a message, he's gonna come to you to bring that message. Okay, any more questions, please type in the chat, and if not, we're gonna wrap it up here for now. It was lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for those who were here live, and for those who would be watching in the replay and listening on the podcast. And if you are watching it later, let me know, send me a message, send me email. In the chat you can also connect with me, tell me how it made you feel, what was your experience with the dragons. And also I want to know if after this live stream something will be shifting. Please share with me, please send me a message, please connect, communicate, and just open up for more. They're really willing, they're waiting, they've been waiting for thousands of years, and they're really willing to allow this joyful connection. And remember, what you see, you can also ask, who are you? And sometimes the answer would be that it is you from other dimensions. Learn to harmonize. Don't shush them away. Learn to harmonize. Invite them. Be friendly, be gentle, be grateful. And then make conscious choices about your life for the highest good of all. Thank you so much, everyone. And I don't know when I will see you, but we will keep in touch on the email, on the blog, on the podcast, around. Okay? And all your support and feedback is highly appreciated. Thank you so much. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you for being a part of my experience and community, and for your interest to transform your life. My name is Victoria Swardi, B-School Space, and I am here to support you in your spiritual journey and to create a better reality together. Explore the footnotes available and opt in to download meditations and other offerings suitable for your needs. Reach out via email to ask me questions and to explore the possibilities to work together. If you found this recording useful, set up a high rating and share with those who might benefit from it as well. I will be happy to talk to you soon again. Subscribe not to miss the publications. I love you, Victoria Swardi.